on bilateral issues and international issues, and we are dealing with India and our neighbors. And as you know very well, very complex relationship we have with our neighbors, whether it is Pakistan, whether it is Nepal, whether it is Bangladesh, we have seen. Now, in this discussion or in this as part of our discussion India and the neighbors, it is very important. In fact, in paper 2 of our in GS, normally we can expect 50-60 marks worth questions from this area, sometimes even an essay is asked. So, it is an important thing, and moreover when we talk about current affairs and when you read newspaper and when you go for even an interview, everywhere these bilateral issues will come in question, okay, because it is very crucial for us, and India especially 3-4 of them like Nepal, China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indo-US relation, I mean not neighbor, but with the superpowers also. Then India, Sri Lanka is again very important, and it is again very complex, because we have historic relationship, lot of connection, but at the same time we have a lot of problems. So, these are very important, and that is what we are doing, and today and I would like to discuss India Sri Lanka relation. So, the heading is India Sri Lanka, and before we talk about India Sri Lanka, we have to know something about the Sri Lankan society first, and the problems in Sri Lanka and how is it linked with India. That is very, very important. So, my discussion will be on Sri Lanka, and whatever time we take I will complete. So, first of all, one big issue between India and Sri Lanka, and which is always linked for us is the ethnic issue. One big issue is the ethnic one, because our problems are linked to the ethnic composition of the Sri Lankan population. Now, and just to have an idea, please remember this, the Sinhalas, the majority population are Sinhalas or Sinhalese, and these Sinhalese are Aryans. That is the beauty, they are not Dravidians. So, this Aryan Dravidian problem, I will not say problem in India as such, the division, the ethnic division, the same thing is there in Sri Lanka also. And in fact, the first people to enter, or rather you see, because whether it is India, whether it is Sri Lanka, the population, our population, the majority population, we were not evolved here. See, we know that the population migrated from from Africa and all, that is where the human beings evolved, and then subsequently they spread across the world. So, even in India, there is no human being, we Homo sapiens sapiens, the human beings whom we call as human beings, we did not evolve in India or Sri Lanka, we evolved in Africa, and they migrated. Now, who came to Sri Lanka first? So, this at least 3,000-4,000 years of history we can easily talk about. And please remember, even during the time of King Ashoka, when he was enlightened after the Kalinga war, he sent his emissaries to Sri Lanka. Why? You should understand why he sent, because some of his relatives or non people would have been there. The meaning, what I am trying to say, the Sinhali people, the Sinhala, the majority people of Sri Lanka, they are supposed to be the people of origin from Bengal, Orissa region. They are supposed to be from, so they are Aryans. Sinhala majority, and then there are people who are the Dravidian community, especially from South India, especially from Tamil Nadu region, the Tamil speaking people. So, one big division is this Aryan versus Dravidian issue in Sri Lanka, and if you look at the ethnic composition, a very interesting thing is we have Sinhalese. They are around 75% of the population right now, 75% are Sinhalese. Then the Tamils, out of one is called the Sri Lankan Tamils. Those who migrated to Sri Lanka during the time when the Sinhalese also migrated, we can say, or other, nobody knows who came to Sri Lanka first. But Sinhalese claim that they came first. The Tamils, the Sri Lankan Tamils claim that they came first, so there is some confusion. So, the Sri Lankan Tamils are around 11%. And there are also Indian Tamils. See, who are Sri Lankan Tamils? Those Tamils who migrated to Sri Lanka from Tamil Nadu or other from the Dravidian land from time immemorial, maybe 2000 years, 3000 years. See, Ashokan time is BC. So, during that time, when if King Ashoka has sent his emissaries to Sri Lanka at that time, that means even before that, people have migrated from Indian subcontinent to Sri Lanka. So, these Sri Lankan Tamils are also such Tamils who migrated at that time, maybe 2000 years before, 3000 years before, we do not know, during the Sangam literature time and all, who migrated, that is what we are talking. So, they are Sri Lankan Tamils. Then there are some Tamils who are called as Indian Tamils. See, Indian Tamils are those Tamils who were taken by British to work in the plantations during the modern time. See, please remember, we talked about indentured labor. We talked about, see, let me use my specs also. We talked about indentured labor. See, this is the labor, the semi-slavery or a contract laborers. No, this we are talking about the contract laborers, meaning after the abolition of slavery or rather after the abolition of the slave trade in the Western world, especially in the US, from the colonies, Britishers took people and Indians, and this is the beginning of the indentured labor. We call it as from 1834 onwards. After 1834, the indentured labor started. Now, the Tamils were taken to the Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka was also under the British colony. They were taken from 1890s between 1910, and the Tamils were taken to Sri Lanka. Tamils were taken to Malaysia during that time by the by the British administration for working in the plantation. In fact, if you look at Sri Lanka, so let me just insert a picture. Sri Lanka, let me insert. Now, if you look at Sri Lanka, see, the Sri Lankan population, now, the majority of the Sinhalese are living in the south and the west, okay, and right from this Anuradhapura, and this is how the Sinhala population. The Sri Lankan Tamils, they predominantly live in the north and in the east. So, the Sri Lankan Tamils. Now, where do you find the Indian Tamils? The Indian Tamils were taken by British to work in the plantations in the central Sri Lanka, like this, this is where the hills are there. Sri Lankan hills are here, and this is where the Indian Tamils were taken because they had to work in the plantations. So, these Indian Tamils play a very crucial role, or rather they are a major community in Sri Lanka, and these Indian Tamils, they are approximately 4%, because they were taken between 1890 to 1910. And in fact, lot of confusion was there in Sri Lanka. In 1948, when Sri Lanka got independence, the majority Sinhala population, they refused to recognize that these people who were taken to the Sri Lanka by Britishers, even though 100 years or 50 years before, 60 years before, and their descendants are living there right now. The the majority community and the new government refused to accept them as people of Sri Lanka. They disenfranchised them. So, they were removed from the electoral roll. Okay. They were removed from the electoral roll. Almost 1 million people in early 1950s, almost 1 million people was disenfranchised, meaning removed from the electoral roll. They were declared that they are not citizens, and then we had an agreement between India and Sri Lanka, I think in 1964, there in the 1970s also, I think 74 or 75, there was another agreement. A couple of lakhs of Sri Lankan Tamils were taken back by India. India agreed to take back some of them, even though they were not born in India or anything. They were born in Sri Lanka, but because of the Sri Lankan government's problem and the Sri Lanka, to resolve the problem, some of these disenfranchised Tamils who were actually born in Sri Lanka, they were taken back by India. We agreed to accept them and we resettled them in India. Even that has happened. So, the Indian Tamils are those Tamils who were taken by British during the British time, maybe between 1890s and 1910, to work in the plantation, and they were not treated as citizens of that country. See, please remember, this is the difference between India and Sri Lanka. When India got independence in 1947 and when our Indian constitution was framed in 1950, we did not distinguish. We declared very clearly, whoever entered India before 95 years before the commencement of the constitution, all of them will be treated as they have a right to have citizenship through to domicile. Whoever they have to show only an intention to stay in India. See, we gave citizenship by domicile. We did not ask them where you are born here or who is your father, nothing. We only said that whoever was present in India or whoever entered India even 5 years before the commencement of the constitution, they are eligible to have Indian citizenship. Only requirement is they should show their intention to make India as a permanent home, or only thing required is they should show their intention to be an Indian citizen. That is all. We gave citizenship to all of them. But in Sri Lanka, those who entered or their forefathers, their parents or grandparents who came, even then the Sri Lankan government disenfranchised them. So, that is the difference between India and Sri Lanka. Anyway, so Indian Tamils 4%. Now, there is another very interesting community in Sri Lanka. They are known as the Moors. Moors are the descendants of Arab population or Arab traders who came and settled in Sri Lanka, and then many of them came and settled even in South India, in Kerala also. And Moors are those communities who are descendants of Arab population, Arab traders who came as part of the trade in the ancient time. And these Moors are 9%, this Moor population, they are predominantly Muslims, because Arab descendants, they are speaking Tamil, okay. They are Tamil speaking people, but they are descendants of, okay, they are Tamil speaking, but they are Muslims, descendants of Arab traders. So, Moors are 9%. Now, you see, so the total number of population 74, 75% Sinhala, 11% Sri Lankan Tamil, that is 86, 4% Indian Tamils 90, Moors are 9%, 99%. There are some more, some Malay descendants also, some of the aboriginals also here, like one particular tribal community called Veddas. Not in percentage, a few numbers, few hundred, maybe few thousand people are there. They are all, see, the Vedda culture and all is completely lost, very difficult to identify them. They have been, what you call, assimilated into the normal Sri Lankan population, but there are some aboriginal, the pre-Sinhala or pre-Tamil people called Veddas, they were also there. So, like that, so this is almost 100% of the population. So, the biggest issue in Sri Lanka is this ethnic issue between the Sinhala majority versus the minorities, especially the majority communities' reluctance to accept these Tamils, whether it is Sri Lankan Tamils or the Indian Tamils or even Moors, the Muslims, as equal citizens of the country. So, the problem in Sri Lanka, in one line, if you ask me, it is more of this majoritarianism and the reluctance of the majority community. The problem is related to the reluctance of the majority community to accept the minority communities. This way, the minority communities are either Tamils or even Moors, but they are also speaking Tamil only. Minority community as equal citizens. Okay. So, the reluctance of the majority community, that means the Sinhala community, to accept them as equal citizens. That is the biggest challenge in Sri Lanka right now. And if you look at the composition of Sri Lanka in terms of religion, ethnic composition I have seen, and the most important religion is Buddhism. Almost 70% of the population in the country are following Buddhism, and these Buddhism, the Buddhists are predominantly, and all of them, almost all of them, we can say they are the Sinhalese. Majority of the Sinhalese are Buddhists, they follow Buddhism. Then the second largest is of course our Hinduism. The majority of the Tamils are following Hinduism, almost 12.6%. Then we have the Muslim community, the Moors are Muslims, around 9.7%. There are some Christians also, especially the Roman Catholic Christians and other Protestants, and all put together we have around 7.5%. So, 70 plus 12, 82.6 plus 10, 92 plus 7.5, okay, 99.5. So, something like that. So, we have predominantly Buddhism, and the majority of the Sinhali population, Sinhalese are Buddhists. Then majority of the Tamils are Hindus, some Christians. This Arab descendant, the Moors are Muslims, and of course, from the Sinhalese also some Christians, from Tamils also some Christians. So, that is how the total number of Christians may be around 7.5%. So, this is the religious background, and so this is how the classification, whether it is religious division or ethnic division, and the problem in Sri Lanka is ethnic, not religious as such, but it is closely linked to religion also in the sense, because majority of more than 90%, maybe 95% of the Sinhala population, which is around 75%, they are Buddhists, and majoritarianism and the the mindset of the majority Sinhalese, that they will not give equal status to the other communities. They always wanted to discriminate. The discrimination of the minority communities in Sri Lanka by the majority community is the challenge, and that is why the problems are there. Okay. What is unique is like Indian in about Vedas, when I said like we have many tribal communities in India. We have seen Andaman Nicobar, for example, I talked about a community Nicobaris or Andamanis or Sentinels, or I talked about Jarawa. See, these are all unique tribal community with less number. Similar to them in India, Vedas are such unique, original, maybe and hunting and food gathering community, okay, hunting and food gathering, that is why they are quite unique. That is what I said. It is like any other remote and marginalized and secluded, or any other tribal community in India. We have more than 700 tribes in India, Many of them are particularly vulnerable tribal groups. We have said, I have said in polity. So, same thing here, this is a particularly vulnerable tribal group in Sri Lanka, we can say. So, that is how their relationship can be there. Okay. So, now coming to so this is about the ethnic composition and the religious composition, and I said what is the problem in Sri Lanka. So, that is the first part of my discussion.